Hey guys, Theron Asbury here with Revital Outdoors, bringing you another exciting podcast. Tonight, we're going to go to the great state of Kentucky. We're going to interview Mr. Dan Martin. Dan got a top 10 finish last year at the BFL tournament on Kentucky Lake with the LBL division. So we're very excited to talk to him about his tournament last year, what he predicts for this year. A lot of great content coming your way. Real quick before we get started, Revital Outdoors is very, very excited to announce we are going to feature a $2,500 giveaway. This is going to be a great package for all the tournament anglers out there and all the angling enthusiasts. So real quick, let's pause for 5 seconds. Please take your cell phone and scan this code. I'm going to pop it up real quick so that you can enter into our giveaway. Here it comes right now. Thank you for scanning to get into our giveaway. Again, that's a $2,500 giveaway. We will be announcing a winner later in the year. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram. That's going to be Revital Outdoors. And if you've never heard of Revital Outdoors, we're a premium CBD company. We make premium CBD products for all the outdoor enthusiasts who are experiencing different ailments such as back discomfort, sorenesses in their joints, trouble sleeping at night, anything like that. We have a great product to help you get through those different ailments. So check out our website, revitaloutdoors.com. You can purchase all of our products directly off our website. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into this podcast. Mr. Dan Martin from the great state of Kentucky. How you doing this evening, bud?
I'm doing pretty good. Can't complain. I started out doing a lot of research on areas of pre-spawn staging stuff or just looking at Google Earth. So when I get into my kind of tactics of breaking down the lake, I'll go through sea maps and kind of get a rough idea of what the contours of that lake might look like. For instance, Kentucky Lake is known for its ledge fishing, but early in the year, those fish will be in predictable areas where they'll stage to go back into the creek pockets where they're going to do their thing and go spawn. So I spent a majority of my time trying to figure out specific little key areas that they might stack up on before they go in. And then the same thing when they're coming back out, they're going to go back to those staging areas before they go back out on the ledges. So another thing that helps me when I break down the lake. So for instance, 1 was sea maps, 2 would be Google Earth. And then also, I'll also look at past history results. Those 3 things kind of factor in how you should do that time of year, what you should be looking for, and what might look like the right stuff to be fishing.
Absolutely. So, on that note, you talk about Kentucky Lake being predominantly a deep ledge fishing lake. A lot of great tournaments have been fished there in the month of May, June, July. I know the FLW Tour back in the day, the Major League Fishing, they've gone there a lot, even the Bassmaster Elite Series. In that area, and they're always deep. They're on those ledges. I mean, fish are being, big fish are being caught. Over 100 pounds in 4 days, usually what it takes to win. But, speaking in the terms of the month of April, the month of May, the fish are up spawning. You probably are going to catch fish in all 3 stages of the spawn, pre, post, and during the spawn. So a lot of fish can be caught up shallow in Kentucky Lake too.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Kentucky Lake's been making a comeback. I know they had a big problem with those Asian carp. They kind of put a little damper on their spawning season. But for instance, this upcoming tournament, I would expect a big majority, a big wave of those fish that are going to be up shallow. You might have a few that are post spawn, but I think it's going to be a little early for that. But I think it should be a pretty good tournament weight overall for consistency and seeing a lot of limits being caught in this tournament.
Okay. Well, in terms of your tournament last year, were you strategizing up shallow? And if you were, what kind of, tactics were you utilizing to get your top 10?
So last year I kind of had a little deal going on with the smallmouth, and they were actually coming off of beds, and when they get off of beds, they feed really, really heavy, and they'll be in small, predictable areas where the current might not be as heavy or the current might be a little bit heavier. But last year I weighed in five smallmouth, for my top 10.
Okay.
And I think
Really cool.
I think that this year it might be a similar factor that might play in.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's really interesting. I think you're the first person I've ever talked to that actually targeted smallmouth in Kentucky Lake. I know it's been done. I know there's a lot of guys that do it, but to finally talk to someone that truly targeted, and it wasn't just like a random, bonus fish here and there, man, that's really cool. So, typically, what are we looking at for water temperature this time of year? And then also, I know a big factor on Kentucky Lake is the current. Even with the fish being shallow, thinking about the spawn and all that, is the current still a factor?
I would say, yeah. Like for instance, last year we had a lot of rain and it brought the lake level up to like 358. So they were generating around 140,000, which is normally a lot of current that time of year. And they usually try and bring up the water level from 354, which is winter pool, and they'll start gradually raising the lake level from 354 at April 1st. And then they'll go all the way to May till it gets to 359. But with the lake being high last year, it made that current kind of pinpoint those little high percentage areas. And I know that the next few days we're supposed to get a lot of rain. So I don't know what the TVA is going to do with that water level raising so quickly. They might drop it, they might leave it up, but that's something you got to consider when fishing Kentucky Lake, is figuring out if there's going to be current or if there's not going to be any current.
Absolutely. Okay. Okay. So also, thinking about backtracking a little bit, but last year you were targeting the smallmouth. How many bites did you? I mean, how many keeper bites did you get throughout the day?
I would say I probably had about 10 to 12 keeper bites, but I did lose a few quality fish that really would have gave me that over 15-pound bag. But that's fishing. Sometimes you lose them, you catch them, and you got to go with the best of the day.
Yeah, you definitely have to kind of roll with the punches sometimes. So, well, thinking about this year, I know that your area has gotten a lot of rain this year. I know back in November, December, unfortunately, the state of Kentucky experienced a lot of tornadoes as well in the area. So, thinking, factors of a little bit higher water, a little bit more clarity in the water. How do you think, this year will factor from last year? Do you think anglers can still kind of predominantly do the same, or the fish are still going to be doing the same, but they're going to be a little bit deeper because the water's higher? Or what's your prediction?
I think that this year you're going to see a lot more fish being caught. I think the lake's making that rebound where the forage is definitely on an incline. The bass population's on an incline. They had a good spawn last year, so now they have more juvenile fish that are making that 10 to 12 inch range. So now with more fish that had a successful spawn last year, I think this year there definitely will be a lot more fish being caught.
Okay.
And
Okay.
towards the water level, I think as the water goes up, the more the fish pulled to the bank. And
I
with the
got you.
water being down, they're kind of moving into their staging areas versus just going straight to the bank.
Okay. Okay. Well, a couple other questions before we let you go. First and foremost, what do you think weight wise this year it's going to take to win?
I would say, if I had a guess, I'd say 23 to 25 pounds.
23, 25. That's a pretty solid number. I mean, that's definitely a solid number. And I don't looking at the results to Kentucky Lake and kind of doing the same studies you're doing. I don't think it's going to be a consistent bag. I think what's going to happen is you're going to have a guy that's got some 3-pounders. He's going to have a 5, and then he's going to have a couple 7s in there, and that's what's going to push him over that 23, possibly 25-pound mark. So that's really cool. And then also, I have to ask, because I know a lot of anglers are going to be thinking about it, even though the fish are up shallow. Will the Alabama rig be a factor?
There's always a factor with that Alabama rig. You're going to have those fish that are up there shallow, but you're going to have another wave of fish that are going to be in that pre-spawn waiting to do their thing after those fish come back out. So I think the Alabama rig might be a big factor as well in this next tournament.
All right. All right. And then finally, if you were a co-angler in this event, what would you be rigged up with?
If I were a co-angler, I'd probably have a Carolina rig, a rig, and probably a swim bait tied on. If I were fishing pre-spawn stuff. If I were fishing spawning stuff, I'd probably have a jig, maybe a tube, maybe a shaky head. That way I can kind of pick my things apart that the boater might not be able to get to.
Right. Fishing a little bit deeper than what the boater's up looking at fish.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So, well, that being said, Dan, you gave us a lot of great information. Again, top 10 finish last year, Kentucky Lake. Congratulations. Definitely hoping to see you repeat this year, maybe even walk away with that W. Before we let you go, we want to always give you the chance to thank any of your sponsors, friends, family. I know you got a great support system. Looking at your social media, there's a lot of people that support you. So, any shout outs that you'd like to give before you get off here?
Yeah, I'd like to say a big shout out to my parents. They're a big support team to me. I'd also like to thank Ranger Mercury. They definitely help out, and everyone that just wants to help me keep my dreams going.
Absolutely. So, well, Dan, thank you so much for taking time to come on our podcast. Again, for all the listeners out there, you've been talking to Mr. Dan Martin, top 10 angler from last year's LBL division BFL tournament on Kentucky Lake. That third stop is coming up again in the next few weeks. So we want to wish all the tournament anglers out there good luck. Dan, we wish you the best of luck. Hope to have you back on this podcast because that usually means your 2022 campaign's going well. Again, before we let everybody go, don't forget we're giving away a $2,500 giveaway into the year. Be sure you hit that link in this description box right at the top of the page. That way you can enter into the giveaway. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. From all of us at Revital Outdoors, I'm Theron Asbury. Thank you for tuning in to another awesome podcast. Good luck to all the anglers out there. God bless. Be safe, and we'll talk to everyone very, very soon.
Thank you.